Breaking news first at 4, new developments in the alleged plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer. We'll take you to a courtroom where a judge made a bombshell ruling. Plus, the city of Detroit wrapping up its efforts to get more people vaccinated. We'll have the group that will be able to sign up to get a shot. Good afternoon, Paula.
Good afternoon, Karen. Okay, Michigan is in an epic race. In one lane, you have COVID-19. In the other lane, you have the vaccines. Guess what's winning? Not the vaccines. We have a first-hand account from Michigan's top doc.
Fall-up temperatures pretty much what you would expect for this time of year, but by the end of the week and the 1st of April, we'll have a distinctly winter feel. That's all right now, first at 4.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. We've got some breaking news here at 4. 3 members of the Wolverine Watchmen, the state says helped plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer and then unleash political violence, were in court today, with the judge making one surprising decision. Defender Sean Lay joins us with the very latest on the case. Sean.
Good afternoon. Great to see you, Karen, here. The judge dropping a 20-year felony against 2 of these guys of terroristic threatening, and that judge really challenged the state prosecutor in the process.
So anytime someone publicly says something the prosecutor can't like or doesn't like, you can call it a false report or threat of terrorism and argue that it goes to trial.
Judge Michael Colleran challenging the state attorney general's office over the AG, charging Pete Musico and son-in-law Joseph Morrison with making terroristic threats online and in secret conversations on encrypted apps about violent acts focused on Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The state said both men spent money and time putting those words into actions by training. But in a bombshell of a ruling, the judge threw out that charge the state was seeking, ruling that the men didn't make those alarming statements to the outside world. Therefore, no one actually received the threat of terrorism.
If one or more of the defendants had yelled it out to the general public and the general public had heard it and then called the police, that would be different.
Back here live, the AG's office just releasing a statement. We'll have what Attorney General Dana Nessel thinks of dropping that charge coming up at 5 o'clock, Karen. Also, these guys certainly not out of the woods. They were bound over to face trial on a multitude of charges. We'll break it all down at 5 o'clock.
All right. Thank you, Sean. We're also following some breaking news from Detroit as police investigate a freeway shooting. No one was hurt. This happened on I-94 near I-75. A tow truck driver tells us he was shot at. State police say this was a road rage shooting. The suspect pulled off to the side of the freeway and then started shooting at that tow truck driver. I-94 has reopened after being closed for the investigation. We will, of course, continue to monitor this for any updates and bring those to you on air and online at clickondetroit.com. Now to the latest on the coronavirus, an alarming trend continuing across the state. The state reports over 8,200 new cases. Now remember, that's a 2-day total for Sunday and Monday. Sadly, we have lost another 8 Michiganders to the virus in the last 48 hours. The state also reports 70 new outbreaks in schools. The recent spike in cases has Lawrence Tech University shifting to online education for the next 2 weeks. On the vaccine front, the state health department says about 28,000 people have been vaccinated at Ford Field. It opened last week as a mass vaccination site. Mayor Duggan announcing that all Detroiters 16 and older are now eligible for a COVID-19 vaccine. You can call the TCF Center if you'd like to make an appointment. That number is posted on clickondetroit.com. The mayor also discussed the rapid spread of COVID-19 here in Michigan.
I need to talk to you about what's happening in the state of Michigan, which if you've been following this, is probably growing as rapidly as anybody in the country in COVID infection rates. In the city of Detroit, we've doubled just in the last 10 days to a 10% infection rate. That's a rate we haven't seen really since last year. And more disturbingly, our hospitalizations have doubled.
The mayor says younger Detroiters are now being hospitalized. All right, so back to vaccines, which can help slow the spread. If you want the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine, you can make an appointment to receive it at the Northwest Activities Center. The number to call to make your appointment is posted on clickondetroit.com. Now, meantime, Macomb County is also ramping up its efforts to get more people vaccinated. A new vaccine clinic opened today at the Southwest Health Center that is in the Majestic Plaza on Van Dyke Avenue, north of I-696 in Warren. This is the fourth COVID-19 vaccination site in the county. A fifth site will open on Wednesday at the Chesterfield Township Senior Center. And as we saw with today's case numbers, the current trends are moving in the wrong direction, and that has the attention of the state's chief medical executive, Dr. Janae Caldoun. In a tweet posted Sunday afternoon, it reads in part, "Worked in ER last night, more COVID. Stark contrast to a month ago. Younger people can get sick and be hospitalized or spread to more vulnerable. Michigan, mask up, get tested, avoid indoor maskless venues. Get your COVID vaccine ASAP." That was the tweet. Now, Paula Tutman joins us live. And Paula, you spoke with Dr. Caldoun this afternoon about her concerns, and they are growing day by day.
Yeah, Karen, and rightfully so, because when you remember very carefully that Michigan was actually leading the nation in terms of keeping cases down, we are now the exact opposite. We are now on top of the leaderboard when we talk about this surge in cases. So I want you to think about an Olympic race, okay? And so you have COVID-19 in one lane, and you have the vaccine in the other lane. And according to the Michigan's top doc, COVID is winning the race as of today.
Unfortunately, I think this virus is getting ahead of us because we've seen those cases increase. So I think we've made a lot of great progress with our vaccination efforts, but we're seeing these cases rise. We're seeing hospitalizations rise.
While the state has vaccinated north of 2.5 million Michiganders, more people need to step up and get vaccinated, and those who haven't yet must continue safe masking and distancing protocols, or COVID and its variant pals will completely win this race. Dr. Janae Caldoun is not only Michigan's top health advisor, but she's also a working emergency room physician. And during her weekend shift this last weekend, what she saw is deeply concerning.
We're seeing increasing cases, particularly among the younger age groups, 10 all the way up through even age 65. We're seeing more and more people coming in with symptoms. We're testing them and they're testing positive. And I think it's also important to note that it's not only the elderly who can get very sick. There are young people, and particularly younger people who may have underlying medical conditions, who are still getting sick from this terrible virus, and some of them need to be hospitalized. So it's really important that we all continue to remain vigilant in fighting this virus back.
These variants are also a concern because virus behavior is to figure out how to survive. And what the state wants to avoid with these younger infections is the variant figuring out that it can survive in younger patients and then morphing itself to do so.
Every time a virus is able to pass from person to person, that's another opportunity for it to mutate and get better. So it's important that we all, again, continue to wear our masks, wash our hands, socially distance, and of course, get a vaccine when an appointment becomes available to you.
Okay, so yeah, of course, we are more than a year in, and COVID fatigue is setting in. But COVID fatigue is a virus's best friend, because as we drop our guard, the virus is figuring out how to survive. And so that's why it is so important that we all do our part. Now, the rules are different for people who are completely inoculated. When I say completely inoculated, that means you've had both shots and you're past the 12 to 14-day gestation period for that inoculation or that vaccine to work. We do have a responsibility to others coming up at 5:30. I'm just going to try to narrow that down a little more, Karen, so we understand what we can do and what our responsibility is to others so that we can win this race ultimately.
All right. Thank you, Paula. Appreciate it. Well, time now for our first look at the forecast. Let's send it over to Ben.
Yeah, Karen, that sunshine looked nice out there on Paula, and temperatures pretty much what you would expect for this time of year. We got a lot of upper 40s and around 50 degrees. Flint's one of the warm spots with the cooler numbers out there towards the lake. just a little bit better than it was yesterday. A little bit more of a noticeable difference out there in the west zone, but we're going to see a huge difference tomorrow as temperatures spike before they start to slide as we finish out the week. And it's this cold front that's going to be responsible. Most of that rain is going to be south of us, but we do expect to see some of that coming in Tuesday evening and overnight into Wednesday, but it's the cold air behind it that'll make the big difference. Seasonably cool as we head through midnight tonight with generally clear skies. So coming up, we're going to take a look at just how cold those temperatures are going to be and what impact that's going to have on opening day for the Tigers, which of course is Thursday. That's all in just a few minutes. Karen?
Well, it is day one of the trial of Derek Chauvin in Minneapolis. Now, Chauvin is the former police officer who is accused of the murder of George Floyd. Kimberly Gill following the latest. And Kim, the prosecution and the defense made their opening statements today.
They did. Karen, good afternoon. Chauvin faces 3 charges, including second-degree murder. Video of Floyd's death, in which he can repeatedly be heard saying, "I can't breathe," led to global protests last year against police brutality. The trial started with the state showing the jury 9 minutes and 29 seconds of cell phone video of Floyd being held on the ground by Chauvin's knee. Prosecutors say it's clear his death was a homicide and matches the patterns of someone who dies from oxygen deficiency. The defense painting a different picture, though, arguing officers struggled to arrest Floyd and that use of force is a necessary part of policing.
We plan to prove to you, beyond a reasonable doubt, that Mr. Chauvin was anything other than innocent. Mr. Derek Chauvin betrayed this badge when he used excessive and unreasonable force upon the body of Mr. George Floyd.
And you will learn that Derek Chauvin did exactly what he had been trained to do over the course of his 19-year career.
Chauvin has pleaded not guilty to charges. The trial is still ongoing at the moment. It's expected to last up to 4 weeks. We'll, of course, have more on today's developments when you join us for the news at 5. Until then, Karen, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Still to come first at 4, an author of a popular children's book series under fire this afternoon. Find out why one of his books is being pulled from library and store shelves. Plus, a look at stories across the world, including travelers getting an up-close look at an erupting volcano in Iceland. One of the largest container ships in the world that blocked the Suez Canal for 6 days is finally moving again. We've got details next.